Hey there, how's everyone doing? We're happy to have you all here from all over the world. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now to the big news. Israeli media have reported that 5 people were killed in Tel Aviv due to the Iranian missile strikes. 4 of them died when a building in Petah, Tikva, east of the city, was directly hit. International reports confirm that Haifa's port has been completely destroyed. The Iranian missiles turned what used to be a regular port into a burning ruin. Fires are raging from every direction. This was like an earthquake hitting the heart of Israel. Iranian missiles struck deep inside the country, and Tel Aviv is now under heavy fire. This is one of the most dangerous attacks in the history of the conflict. The rules of the game have totally changed. People who thought they were safe in bomb shelters? Iran blew those up too. Life in Israel after this night will never be the same. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night to explosions shaking the ground, sirens wailing everywhere, and fire raining down from the sky. You don't even know where the next hit will land, and the shelters, your last line of safety, have exploded. The supposedly secure shelters Netanyahu promised to his people? They're no longer safe. What happened in Israel in the past few hours wasn't just a military strike. It was a strategic earthquake and a game-changing blow. Iran has just launched the biggest missile strike in its history against Israel. Shelters turned into graves. Panic in the streets like never before. Not even during Israel's biggest wars. But what exactly happened? Why now? And what messages is Iran really sending? What shocked everyone the most was how these attacks broke through Israel's so-called first line of defense, the Iron Dome system, which Israel has always bragged about. One Iranian missile pierced Israeli airspace and hit a full building in the heart of Petah, Tikva. The entire structure collapsed, and rescue teams confirmed that 3 people were killed, even though they were in a reinforced shelter. They thought they were safe, just like Netanyahu had promised. Mariv newspaper quoted an Israeli emergency spokesperson saying the shelters may not withstand Iranian missiles. Then came silence, followed by a massive blast. Buildings shook, windows shattered, and thick smoke rose above the city. Another Iranian missile was confirmed to have hit, causing direct strikes in several locations across greater Tel Aviv and southern Israel. In Haifa, where Israel's largest oil refinery is located, the Bazan refinery, which produces 200,000 barrels a day, a direct hit caused massive fires across the vital facility. Reports confirmed that oil pipelines and energy tanks were struck, with catastrophic consequences. 10 people killed, over 100 injured, some critically, 8 buildings completely destroyed, and 4 major energy facilities directly hit. There was also severe damage to the Weizmann Institute for Science, and 6 people are still missing under the rubble. Even the United States Embassy in Tel Aviv was hit and has completely shut down. Israeli police said the situation is extremely difficult. Rescue teams are operating in what feels like a full-blown war zone. People are running in every direction. No one knows where to hide. The Iron Dome did nothing, and media outlets say Tel Aviv is facing destruction on a scale it has never seen before. It also looks like Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is in serious trouble. He was counting on unconditional U.S. support, but he miscalculated. Contrary to his expectations, President Trump didn't show any enthusiasm for direct intervention after this escalation. Why? Because Trump doesn't act like a typical politician, he acts like a businessman. He doesn't enter any deal unless it's guaranteed to profit. Netanyahu, as usual, made the decision to escalate on his own, assuming the U.S. would automatically back him. But the outcome was shocking. Muted American reactions, weak media statements, and stalling at the UN. So, the deeper reason? Well, toppling the Iranian regime isn't actually a winning move for Washington. In fact, a weakened but stable Iran is the perfect excuse for the United States to stay in the Gulf, keep up the pressure on regional countries, and keep waving the so-called Iranian threat banner. If Iran's regime falls, America loses that excuse. And honestly, its soft blackmail game just collapses. But at the same time, there's one red line: nuclear weapons. If Iran develops nukes, it threatens Israel and kicks off a regional arms race, starting with Saudi Arabia. That's something Washington absolutely won't allow. In the background, the U.S. administration has clearly lost confidence in Netanyahu. especially after the Gaza war and those human rights violations that triggered global outrage. Now there are no more blank checks. There's accountability, pressure, and a clear message. Israel's security doesn't give Netanyahu the right to start a regional war that everyone else pays for. Finally, Iran's Revolutionary Guard released a statement saying, "We launched the strongest and most precise attack in the history of our conflict with the Zionist entity. We targeted command and control systems and critical military sites using advanced missiles, Emad, Qadr, and Kibar Shakan, with high explosive warheads. We used advanced intel and tactics that allowed the attack to bypass all defenses. Despite all its U.S. support and Western technology, the Zionist regime is clearly shaken. The Israeli army has declared a state of maximum emergency, and military censors have imposed a complete media blackout on any images or information from the attack sites, all in an attempt to control panic among the Israeli public." The mayor of Petah, Tikva, said, "What happened today takes us back to square one. The Iranian missiles hit targets we never imagined they could reach." People in Israel are now asking, how did those missiles fall in the heart of the capital without being intercepted? The public is feeling a mix of fear and anger. There are protests in some areas and, growing calls for top officials to resign. Official statements are talking about a complete reassessment of the country's defense plans. So the big question is, was this just the beginning? What message is Iran trying to send? And why do some analysts believe that this night could mark the actual beginning of the end of Israel's military superiority? The answer lies in the type of targets Iran chose. They didn't just hit military bases, they also struck energy facilities, research institutes, bomb shelters, and command centers. In other words, Iran is sending a clear message. There's no safe place in Israel anymore. The United States is watching. Europe is staying silent. And inside Israel, there's nonstop talk about revenge. But no one knows when or how it might happen, or what the cost would be. So are we on the brink of a full-blown regional war? Will Israel hit back with a similar attack? Or will this massive shock force everyone to rethink their strategies? In every war, there's a moment that changes everything, a moment that flips the balance and shatters the illusion of power. And maybe, just maybe, this night was that moment. This latest Iranian attack wasn't just a response, it was a declaration. A new phase has begun, one where there's no room